Breeze with Eileen. And we're recording.
Yay!
But of course I'm going to wait for this breeze to stop.
Just enjoy the breeze.
Honestly. Okay, Wind, I would appreciate if you would just pause for a second.
Right when we want to get started.
So I can intro this episode. This is all going in the beginning.
Oh, totally.
This is all going
I'm
in.
totally down for that.
All right, we're
So
gonna.
he was a skater boy.
And he said, "See you later, boy." Did he just fall off? Oh no.
No. He's doing some sick kicks.
There's a tree like blocking him, kind of in my view.
Yeah, I've got a beeline view, so no worries. He didn't.
A beeline view of his behind.
Oh my
All
god.
right, let's get this episode started. Nope, because
Never
there's
mind.
a gust of wind.
The wind is like, I got some things to say first. All right. Oh my god. You know what's funny is like, this whole thing started, and I was thinking of the movie with Mark Wahlberg called The Happening.
Yes.
And how like it was something about the plants were the reason behind like what was like the virus or whatever, and the wind was carrying it.
Yeah. Girl, it's crazy.
We're
like
over
a lot
the wind.
a lot of movies were ahead of their time.
Oh, totally. Like, and there was even a movie on Netflix, was it? That it was called Contagion. That came out before all of this happened.
Yeah. I don't think it's on Netflix, but I talked about it in one of my episodes. But yeah, and it's like legit what we're going through. Ooh, okay. There's a pause in the wind.
Okay,
let's get this started.
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Life and Curly Cues podcast with me, Eileen. Today is going to be a very different episode. One, because I was tired of doing these episodes by myself during quarantine and COVID and Corona and all that stuff. And if you can't tell already by that long introduction and also the background noise, I'm recording outside right now in the middle of a park in my neighborhood. And it's very funny. We have lawn chairs set up. We have our equipment set up. Is there a bug around you?
No, I just sounded really close.
Oh.
I was like, is it about to like swoop into my ear?
But yeah, so we're recording outside, so that's why you're going to hear birds and nature and wind. We'll try to like...
It's a whole mood.
Yes, it's a whole mood. We'll try to we'll try to stop talking when there's a big gust of wind so that you can actually hear us. Like right now, there's a big gust of wind coming. But yeah, and so today I wanted to do something different because I wanted to actually see someone in person, and I didn't want to do another interview because that would have involved calling someone and doing the whole phone call thing, and it's just I needed to physically be in front of somebody for an episode, and I felt like it was time, so I reached out to, you can already guess who, but I reached out to Jasenia, and I was like, hey, let's do an episode where we talk about whatever we want. I don't want to interview anybody about like their adulting experience. I just want to chit chat because I have not been able to chit chat with anybody in so long. And the only people I've socialized with are the people at my work. And, you know, I love the people at my work, but I needed to see my non-work friends. And this is the first step. So coming at you live from a park 6 to how much? 8
like
feet?
6 to 8 feet away.
6 to 8 feet away from each other.
In our cozy little lawn chairs.
Under a beautiful canopy of trees.
Oh my god, I love it.
The wind is blowing, and yeah, so we're just gonna talk about whatever. I'm sorry if you were expecting another interview this episode, but if you don't want to listen to just random shit, go ahead and just click off and wait for the next episode in 2 weeks. Or you can listen along to whatever craziness we start talking about.
I mean, hey, this is still like pretty relatable content.
Yes,
we're all going through the same thing. If anything, we're recording our social interaction.
Yes, we are. Like we barely talked on the way here
to like save up
content because we have not seen each other in person since before spring break. Which was the beginning of March.
Yeah.
That was the last time we saw each other.
That's when like things really started getting downhill. Like things were just getting more serious there.
Because I saw you before you went on your trip, which was before spring break essentially. Because we had plans to try to go somewhere during spring break.
And we were like, okay, this is
getting
chaotic.
crazy.
I don't think we can go yet.
Yes.
Which I'm glad that we kind of put it off because I had a trip planned for Austin with one of my friends, and we had already booked a hotel. And it was for South by Southwest that weekend.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing, like, major event that was
That
canceled.
was canceled.
And so we had to do the whole, like, getting our return, and which I'm glad everything was smooth. And what I'm so happy about is a lot of these, like, major companies, especially in the hotel business, like, they make billions of dollars. They were all super, I mean, it was such a smooth transition of, like, making sure people were reimbursed and yada yada. So, but yeah, a lot of things, like, had to be put on hold. I was going to do someone's makeup for their wedding.
Oh my gosh.
And it had to be canceled because it was actually going to be in, what was it called? It's this town right next to Marfa.
I probably drove through it. Yeah,
another very, like, deserted area, like a cool, like, vibe. But I was supposed to do her makeup, and that had to get canceled because, especially there, they specifically said, because we had Airbnbs booked, we were trying to book, and they specifically said that those towns were completely shutting down. Like, no one, if you were not a resident,
go in or out.
You could not be there. And because they don't really have, like, the kind of medical resources we have in, like, bustling cities. So if coronavirus spread there, like, it would be devastating for them.
Oh man. Okay. So anyways, yeah, I'm sorry if the audio is gonna bother you, but I will try our hardest.
This is ASMR combined.
I know. If you like ASMR, if you like wind, white noise, I mean,
Birds
our
chirping.
voices will be on top of it. Okay. But yeah. So anyways, we have not seen each other since the beginning of March, and it is currently May 23rd. So it has been a long ass time, and this is going to be an episode of me and Jasenia catching up on
everything.
Yeah. Because a lot of things have happened, including coronavirus. And I feel like no matter what you try to talk to, still can't talk. I feel like anytime you try to talk to somebody about anything that's not corona related, it comes back to corona.
It does.
It always does.
I know, and you're so right. I mean, it's just something that everyone is experiencing right now. So it just seems like the natural thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Or at least, even if you don't intend it to, it just somehow ties back into that. No, but I think so far, let's just talk about then how we've been handling it. Like,
okay, let's go with you because I kind of mentioned it in my phone interviews that I've had for the past couple episodes. How it's been going. I mean, I haven't updated anyone since the most recent episode, since the last episode.
So for me, I mean, it's weird because coronavirus allegedly started like in December. But for us, it didn't really get real until March.
Yeah.
So I was just, living my life, working, school, like, literally it was just like a normal thing. And then all this happened, and for me, it was kind of a weird-ish transition because I was already working remote, and then I was furloughed. Like, a lot of people are, they were let go because the industry that I was working in, I was still a social media manager and working in that digital marketing spectrum, but it was for a food-related company, and they especially suffered the most. Because we were talking about like these classes where they teach you how to cook stuff, and it's people handling food. Granted, they're wearing, like gloves and stuff, but it's now that we know this is technically like a lung-related disease, that changes things. So myself and even a girlfriend who I got became friends with, like, we were both let go, and so it was just kind of weird because I'm like, okay, I just got this job. Like, I was working it for maybe like, I think I mentioned it last time we were talking.
I think you had just got it when I last talked to you on the podcast.
And so it was like, definitely, I guess, for me, how I am as a person, I find my value in what I'm doing. I hate the idea of not working, because for me, it's like, to me, that's something that keeps me busy. It's something that I'm, I find real enjoyment out of, is working. Not to the point where I'm like addicted and I'm a workaholic, but it's just, I want to do something with my time and be a part of something that's beside myself. So having that job, loving it, and then losing it was like, damn, that sucks. And it, and everyone involved, the people who had hired me, they were so like beat down about it. They're like, we feel so awful that this is happening, but I get it. Like, you have a business to take care of first.
Exactly. Yeah.
And a lot of people who were let go, the businesses had to do what they needed to make sure the business survives long term.
Yes.
So that was really like, that definitely was like a dent in the beginning of my experience with coronavirus, because I was feeling really defeated and kind of negative.
Yeah.
And also just like that looming fear of like, what the hell
What's
is going
happening?
on in the world? Like, this is so crazy. And for me, I'm a homebody already, so staying at home, let's be real, I had no problem staying home. No problem. My form of socialization is like once or twice a month. I'm out, have fun, and I go right back home. I'm not like the type to go out very often. So staying home wasn't a problem, but like losing the job definitely sucked. And it was like maybe within, as soon as I lost it, with that same week, I applied for 7 other jobs. I didn't want to waste any time.
Which, I mean,
that's what everybody was dealing with. But I was also dealing with having to apply for unemployment, which I never even got to complete the process because it's so hard to get through to them. Meanwhile, you have announcements like 3 million people on freaking, what is it, the aid? And I'm like, oh, so I can't even get through. These 3 million people did. But, you know, I lucked out because I got callbacks almost immediately from applying, and 2 jobs specifically were like already offering me something, but then one job won out the other just because I was going to get paid more and I was going to be working more hours, and it just overall was the obvious answer.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that now and I really enjoy it, but working remote, I thought, I can totally do it. Like, it's no biggie. But it is starting to set in, like, that kind of uneasiness. I don't know, I guess I was used to having, like, that commuter life. I'd wake up early in the morning, and I knew I had to leave the house by a certain time to get somewhere on time, and I knew, like, this is where work is, this is where home is, like, everything was separate.
You had the separation,
And now it's like, I roll out of bed, I shower, maybe I'll change into like house
actual clothes.
Maybe. But there are days where I'm like, I don't want to dirty more clothes, so I'll shower, but I'll like get right back into my PJs.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And it's so awful, but then I'll just be working and I'll realize it's 4:00 and I'm like, oh, I need to eat lunch.
Yeah. And
like my schedule has just been so off, and so I'm really trying to create some structure. And I think for me, it's I've noticed it before how important like working out is for me, and that's something I completely let go of, and I want to get back into that, and I feel like that will add to the structure. Like, I need to finish my workout by this time because I got to sit down and work by this time.
Yeah.
And any time between that, I can do with it as I please, but I know how I feel after a workout and after I eat too. My diet lately has been like shot because I'm the type of person that I'm not really like a breakfast person unless I'm genuinely craving it, but I've been forcing myself lately to, no, you have to make breakfast, even if it's something small and simple like some strawberries and yogurt, something easy. But the days that I'm like, really, I need to feed myself, I'll take the time to do so. But and then one thing that we did talk about, because you had already known what I was going through, but I got very sick. And that for me was really scary because I got very sick during a time where there's a lot of uncertainty. The way,
going about
hospitals and stuff is set up is very different. It's not like I can just walk into a building, into the emergency room. I am not even allowed inside a building until my temperature's taken and all that. So I got very sick, and it was the sickest I had ever been. And I went to the emergency room, and that experience alone was like, I won't mention the hospital, but it wasn't a good experience because I knew I had to arrive with a mask. Everything was done outdoors, which I could understand. I was asked all these questions, which to me I feel like doesn't necessarily verify if someone doesn't have coronavirus unless you take the temperature, which they did take, and I was fine. But I had to, the waiting area was outside. A nurse had to come out. The only way I went inside was if they decided whether or not they wanted to take a sample from me. So I had to go in, do a sample, and then go right back out. And it was just it was a cold experience, and I know a lot of nurses are passionate about what they do, and for them it's about taking care of people, and they really invest emotionally at times, I feel, or just because they care. And that whole experience was so cold, and like seeing her all suited up with like this shield. I really don't even recognize. I don't remember her face.
Yeah.
So, and then the doctor just kind of writing off what it was, and it totally was not that. And later on getting sick again, thinking that I was fine. But I mean, for those of you, I had a kidney infection, and if you've had one, you know that it sucks, and it's extremely painful. I genuinely was like, it was rumbling around in my mind. I'm like, is this childbirth? Because I don't want it. Okay, this is not it.
Now it's done.
This ain't it. So that sucked. And then I remember just kind of reflecting a lot too about my health, and that's when I was like, yeah, no, I have to get back into prioritizing taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for me, I'm the type of person that I tend to power through things, but I don't prioritize specific needs, like feeding myself.
Yeah.
So having that health scare kind of really put me into like a totally different perspective of like, yeah, no, like a part of self-care isn't just avoiding certain things that cause you emotional stress, it's physical care too. So that's something that I think really opened my eyes during this quarantine, because I've been blessed enough to not have any serious illnesses.
Yeah.
So for that to happen was like enough to kick me in the butt. I was like, no, like I'm taking vitamins. I'm gonna start my workouts, and
we are
I'm like
being reborn.
Oh yeah, totally. So that's, if anything, that's the biggest thing that I took out of quarantine, and just kind of picking what things to stress out about, because I think that right now, especially the media, which is a whole other reason why I kind of started losing my passion for journalism specifically. Now, don't get me wrong, there are gems who do the job right,
yes.
and they're honest people. They tell the story how it is, blah, blah, blah. But so much in the news is like sensationalized or exaggerated.
It's kind of like they get trumped over.
Exactly.
Essentially. Like all the good people get pushed way down because the people who aren't so hot at it or like spread lies and shit kind of make the headline more.
Exactly. Because they're, okay, yeah, maybe they are good at making a great headline, but how much truth is in that headline?
It's because we all love the drama. Exactly. We just all want to lean towards.
That's another thing that's like, yikes, this is so awful. So, kind of picking a lot of what I digest, I guess, as far as like in the media and social media too, and also just kind of counting my blessings for sure. Because there's a lot of people who have lost family to these illnesses, a lot of people who can't see their family. Yeah. Meanwhile, like, my family's close, like, it's not a problem, So, that as well has been a big topic for me for, reflection.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's been crazy, and it's so weird to think where we are now compared to when all of this started. And
it's a shift, a huge shift.
Crazy. And now it's like, what's going to be the new normal? Because we're definitely not going back to what it was pre-March.
No way.
There's no way that, like, maybe in years to come we'll probably get back to that point, but there's no way in the world we could ever get back. Like, even just the fact of having to, like, wear masks.
Yeah.
Like, at work, it feels so weird wearing a mask to, like, say hello to the children as they walk in or stuff like that. And then again, like, once the children are in the classroom, it's so little people in the classroom, we don't have to wear masks because we can keep the social distance. But in the mornings when we have to greet the kids and get them out of their cars and we have to wear the mask, and it's like, I'm smiling, but you can't see me smile. Like, I'm really happy to see you.
Yeah.
But you can't see that I'm really happy. Which is kind of the thing that sucks about working in early childhood during all of this, is because early childhood, like, that's where you're making the key, like, connections and key.
Like, that's totally what is, like, such a huge part of molding them into who they're going to become.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's so crazy about it.
It's weird to think, but yes. So, yeah, you've gone through some crazy life-changing shit, like work and health and all that stuff, and I'm glad you're back good now.
Thank you.
Like, whew, girl.
I know. I was like, is this it? Is this it? Is this how I go? No, I'm kidding. But no, and it for sure was like eye-opening, but kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, no, like, I gotta take advantage of the fact that I do have my health, it's like I was saying, it wasn't like this insane illness, it wasn't like I contracted coronavirus.
I
and
know,
like,
yeah.
I'm on the brink of death because so many people are struggling with that, and it's definitely scary. And the fact that it's like a pulmonary thing, that's something that's so hard to overcome. Like it's definitely hard. And so after that, it's like, okay, no, I gotta really kickstart and set these goals, make those goals, and just power through.
100%. I got distracted. There's a butterfly flying around.
Aww.
And it's so pretty. And I wanted to fly this way, but it's not. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. No. Oh, maybe. It's behind you now.
It's so funny how, like, I feel like when they fly, it just looks so silly because they're flying all over the place.
It's right behind you. Oh, my gosh. Come here, butterfly. Come. Yes, you're almost there. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh. Is this my new thing? Am I going to now record podcast episodes outside? What?
Nature? Oh, how cute.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I would like to describe this episode as clearly, I was just distracted by a butterfly. Grace Helbig used to do YouTube videos called like Stream of Consciousness or something like that. And the whole premise of the video was she just talked about whatever the fuck she wanted. Yeah. Like it was just her stream of consciousness, like what's flowing, what's coming to mind and stuff. And that's how I feel like this episode's going to be. Yeah. But well, I love that. Yeah. But before we get into like whatever else we want to talk to, I kind of want to, because I did it in the last episode, I kind of want to mention where the world is right now for the people who listen to this in the future. Hopefully. Time capsule moment. So it is, as I said earlier, May 23rd. We are currently in Texas. Texas, as of this past week, is in phase 2 of reopening the state back up. I went back to work about almost a month ago. We started May 4th. Okay. So I've been back at work for about a month, and it's been very nice. I mean, nice, quote, like, as nice as it can be with all of this happening. But, yeah, phase 2 of reopening the state back up. Restaurants are now open. Bars just opened.
Which I personally think that's a bad idea.
I think it's terrible. There's lots of still different like requirements and all that shit, but everything's at limited capacity. And it's a weird world we're living in right now. And I don't understand how people, yes, I understand like the economy needed to we needed to reopen stuff to get the economy back going. And I'm happy it's reopening because then now people are getting their jobs back. Yeah. But people are still being so irresponsible as far as like making sure they're safe, making sure other people are safe. Like I keep mentioning it, like you can be asymptomatic, like you can carry it and not show symptoms, and you could pass it on to someone else who is really susceptible.
Yeah. Just the other day, there's this.
Oh my goodness! I thought that was a leaf, but that's a butterfly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's on your chair bag.
Should I touch it?
Because I didn't see it move it past that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. How cute. It was like
that was a big one.
The wings were like roundish. Like it had such funny shaped wings.
Interesting.
You know, some of the wings are like double, like up top, and then smaller ones. It was like one whole thing.
Interesting.
So just the other day, so there's this Instagram account that I follow, and she owns this fine jewelry company in New York City. It's called Ring Concierge. Beautiful pieces, right? And I just like their form of content. It's really neat. But she was, in fact, like she had symptoms of coronavirus. She had it. Oh. And she was open about it. And she said, I'm socially distancing. I'm staying at home. She's like, my husband's here with me, but, we're taking precautions, blah, blah, blah. She luckily was able to overcome it. But they did an antibodies test on her a little after she was like fully recovered, and she came out positive for was it asymptomatic, or there was another term for it? But her body was able to like create the antibodies necessary to eat away the virus. So she has it, but it's kind of like when you get chicken pox, and it just kind of, you have it once and that's it. But she even showed like the results or whatever, and she's like this is a real thing for those of you who aren't taking it seriously. Like you have to understand that even if you're not feeling sick, like you can still be asymptomatic.
Yeah. And
No.
so I really just keep advocating for like staying safe, social distancing. Like clearly we're doing it. And I mean, we've been friends since forever.
I know. And it's not like we're like total strangers either.
We
like,
both know we have not gone anywhere
Yeah.
besides me going working home. That's
yeah,
it.
it's same. Dude, I've been at home always. Always.
And so, yeah, it's just been, I just don't understand. Like before the governor of Texas announced phase 2 of the opening, the week before that, I was on Instagram or something, and there was an article somewhere, but it was talking about Wisconsin reopening and a bar, like the minute the Supreme Court ruled over what the governor or mayor said. So like the governor or mayor, I can't remember the specific details about it, but the governor said like, oh, you need to like social distance, places are going to stay closed, whatever. But then the Supreme Court like completely vetoed and overruled his claim, his lost, and they were like, no, things can be open and stuff like that. And literally a few hours after the Supreme Court like vetoed everything he said, there was a bar crowded with people not wearing masks, not staying apart.
Wow.
And even I really wish this, I'm sorry, I don't have the specifics, but the governor / mayor, whoever, even he told like the media, he was like, and this is the downfall of our home, because we're not practicing, like there's going to be so many more rises in cases because of this incident, because of the Supreme Court going against it. And I think it was like, I think it's because like the Supreme Court was like a red state or something, like it's a red state or something like that. I don't know. I don't speak politics. I'm sorry. I'm very terrible at describing things. But I just thought it was crazy because there were videos and pictures of that bar, and I'm just like, oh, my head hurts from all of you.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because I saw a post of it's like a local bar here in San Antonio, and they were basically announcing, hey, we're open.
Yes.
And then the pictures were like, there was 2 people at like some bar stool table, and then like a few people scattered at the bar. To be genuinely honest, like the amount of people that were in there, it was so not worth being open for, because you could probably make more money continuing curbside, or maybe even make, like there were restaurants here who would make like margarita packets or whatever, like it serves 6 people or it's a serving for 4, blah blah blah. You could probably make more money doing that than having people come in there just to sit for hours and have one drink probably. And on top of that, it's like, imagine that doubling with, you know, other businesses opening. I think I get it, they feel they need to make money, but I think that's where having a specific business strategy is so important, especially crisis strategies. That's when it's like super important. And I don't think, especially small businesses, which I fully support, because they don't really have, you know, like the money or maybe even the knowledge of it, they, you know, to plan for a crisis like that is so hard because they don't have the funds for that. A $1 million corporation can let off people and be like, sorry, boo, and that's it. But these small companies, you know, the people rely on them. And for them to feel like, oh, now's my chance to be open, it's such a huge risk. And I think especially like cities like San Antonio and like Austin, where we're so about local and supporting one another, I love that. But it's like you still have to take certain precautions, and I'm kind of upset that San Antonio, I mean, they took their precautions, but I don't feel like anyone's really ready to be open right now.
It's just crazy. And the fact that like this is a 3-day weekend, this is Memorial Day weekend. I know beach is probably going to be crazy. Like I feel like a lot of places that are recreational places are going to be crazy.
That bird is.
Oh, okay.
He's like, wait a minute. I heard y'all were. I have things to say.
I need to put my input. It's just, I don't know. Guys, be safe. Like seriously, take the necessary precautions. That was a big.
That sounded like a huge
buzzing bug. But it's a weird time.
And that's the thing. Like,
in.
I think some people, they have a really selfish approach to it.
I get you need to get out.
I get it. And maybe you need to get out to do your business. Like you have, you know, certain necessities, and that's okay. But there's a way to do it. Like go do your necessities, your absolute essential things, and go home. lollygagging, effing around. There's no time for that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, for one thing that, honestly, maybe the thing that pissed me off the most during this entire situation was people who had the audacity to go outside of hospitals, especially, I think they were the ones in New York, boycotting, talking about how they wanted, they were like, oh, it's my right to, do whatever I want to do.
Oh, the people protesting the stay-at-home orders?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
Are you a moronic? Like, are you stupid? You don't realize that it's like, it's one of those things, they're so blinded by like this attitude of like, screw it, like I'm gonna do what I want,
like,
it's my right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The whole stick it to the man mentality, and it's like, okay, that, I'm sorry, but you go first then.
Yeah.
You're the ones who are going first, because this whole thing is for your well-being.
Exactly. And you protesting amongst other people, all of y'all gonna get coronavirus.
All of y'all. And then
get sick.
there's a photo of, medical
at the
personnel.
crosswalk.
Yeah, they were stopping people from driving through or passing, and for them to have to be the ones to take that heat, like, that's so unfair. That's so unfair. And I have a lot of respect for them, and then to see those, just like, it boiled my blood. Like,
our country was already going to shit because of who's in charge of our country currently, but add this pandemic on top of that idiot.
Oh my God.
Trying to quote unquote lead us. It's just, we were already in a shithole of like crazy stupid shit happening in our country, and then you throw a pandemic in it, and then everyone goes to shit. Like, people are trying to take care of themselves, other people are being the crazy radicals they are.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't even have words for it, because it's just, I don't know. Like,
it's okay. So for me,
it's like a common sense thing.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna take precautions. I'm gonna be careful. If it's something I have to do, that I'll do it. But I gotta, I'll take my precautions. And some people, I've seen people where they're not wearing masks, but their kids are.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so what, you think you're immune to this?
Mm-hmm.
Your kids would be much more susceptible. So, but it's like, let's say you contract it, and you go home, and your kids are in their home where it's supposed to be their safe space, not wearing their masks, and you're going to give it to them. Mm-hmm. So I'm just seeing way too many stupid things, and that's what bugs me. And then when you throw on top of that a president who says statements like, that are, honestly, they're borderline racist, and he wants to say like, oh, I'm only saying it's the Chinese virus because it came from China. And it's like, okay, there's a way to say things. And also... And I looked it up, and it was it what is it called again? The Health Administration?
The CDC?
CDC. One of their guidelines for when a virus is named is that it cannot have any connection with a place or a race.
Yeah.
And he's over here calling it that.
Yeah.
And that's why in my head, too, it's like, I don't want to blame the people that work for him or around him. Mm-hmm. But he seems way too enabled, because he says stuff like that and there's no consequences to it.
Yeah. I think it's just, he built a whole platform 4 years of trying to talk shit. Anyways, enough about that idiot.
I know.
But I do, before we move on to, lighter notes, let's stop talking about damn coronavirus. I'm sorry, I keep moving my chair. I'm not farting or anything. It's just my chair. My final thing is, I have this conspiracy.
Oh my God, I love conspiracies.
Okay. So this is a conspiracy I just thought of, like, at the beginning of all of it. We're both just moving in our chairs.
Sorry.
That all...
The wind's like, don't say it.
I know, the wind is like, I'm going to stop you from saying your conspiracy, even though I've said it multiple times. But the whole thing, like, the government's always listening to you type of thing. So I have a theory that maybe this virus was thrown out into the world, whether it be someone planted it somewhere or someone did. It was somehow thrown into the world. Yeah. Like, someone knew about it and was like, let's fuck shit up. Exactly. Let's fuck up 2020.
Yeah.
But my theory is that somehow this got released this year, which is an election year, and to fuck with the election
Yeah.
so that someone could be reelected or something. Because right now they're talking about these ants can fly.
Oh, great.
They just land. But right now there's like talks of how people are going to be able to vote, and there's like mail-in voting is going to possibly be
That's
a thing.
going to be really easy to manipulate.
Exactly. So I'm over here like it has to be. My theory is like this is tied in with being able to vote and trying to like give someone already the win to be president again for another 4 fucking years.
I know. Oh god. I think I will move to Europe. I'm gonna make that big move to Europe.
But yeah, so my theory is like somehow it's tied with trying to either postpone the election or halt or maneuver the election into a way that it goes into his favor type of thing.
And it's not the first time that during an election there was some kind of outbreak, because the whole Ebola virus also happened during an election. What was it? Yeah. Was it SARS, or it was the one like SARS? Yes. That another thing, it was also going on during an election. Like it's there's too much of a pattern going on here.
Well, and on the talk, that big ass ant just loves me because it keeps coming up my leg. But my boss, when I was voicing my theory, my boss told me her theory, and she says there's something also with every time there's an Olympics, there's a big outbreak, or whenever it's a year of an Olympics, there's an outbreak of something. Because like one Olympics, it was SARS. One Olympics, it was Zika virus. This Olympic is coronavirus. It got canceled. Jeez. And so like she has a theory on ties between the Olympics and pandemics and stuff like that. But it's just weird.
So some of the theories that I have heard are that it was lab created, because coronavirus technically has been around. If you look at your Lysol can, it's on there. The only thing is that it was more animal related. It hadn't really been an issue like to people, but now it is.
Which is crazy that now it's like only people related. Like there's only been like one actual case of an animal.
Yeah, which I think was like the tiger in New York.
It's the tiger, but it's also a different like breed
type of which is the one that has been around forever, where it's normal for, or at least not that it's normal, but it's more common. Yes. Or at least it's more likely that the animal would contract it. Yeah. And then. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So then I heard that it was lab created. Like it had, because they're always testing things, and I get it. We're trying to improve, things in the medical fields and be more knowledgeable about things. But oftentimes I'm pretty sure that bores something new, a more advanced type of coronavirus, or something that was kind of like genetically not enhanced, maybe not on purpose, but who knows? Exactly. That's the trick. Yeah. Because why the hell would you be playing around with the virus trying to make it worse? Like that's so far from what we need to be doing. So it was lab made, and then there was that other one about how it was like it somehow came from like bat soup.
Oh yeah, but that is based. I mean, I didn't research into it, but like if you watch the movie Contagion,
it's based off of that.
Have you not seen the full movie?
No.
Okay, so I mean, spoiler alert. Do you want me to like spoil you?
Go for it.
Okay, so spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Contagion. Skip the next few minutes, or I don't know, however long. But just skip ahead. But in Contagion, it's exactly what we're going through right now. A virus breaks out. The whole world shuts down. Like, if you watch Contagion... It's
a mirror of what's going on.
A mirror of what's going on. And this movie came out in 2000... I talked about this in another episode while I was interviewing a friend. But it came out in 2011, I think, or something like that. And yeah, it's a mirroring image, but at the end it reveals to you how the virus started, like how it came to the humans. And a bat flew, and it all started with a bat, and then I don't remember how, but the bat carried it, and then somehow the pig got it from either the bat droppings or eating something that the bat pooped in or something, and then a pig got it, and then the pig got cut up to become food, and then the chef who was handling the food didn't wash his hands before talking to a guest at his restaurant, and so he essentially had the virus on his hands, and then he like sneezed or something and like touched the person to take a picture with the person, and that woman was like the first confirmed case of the virus in the movie. But it all started with a bat in the movie.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
Because the one,
it was like a bat was eating a fruit or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you've seen the movie, you'll know. But
because there was like pictures looming of like some bat soup in China or whatever, and that opened the conversation. That for me is, I mean, I don't know if we can say it's racist, but it was, you know, I read comments on Instagram and a lot of people. I just kind of try to see both sides. For me, I feel like it's not a racist thing. It's simply just a cultural difference.
Yeah.
We eat certain things that perhaps they don't eat. They eat things that we don't eat.
Yeah.
And for them, I think it was just the other day I read that in Wuhan specifically, they banned the selling of wild animals as food. Like they cannot sell, you know, because they would eat bats and like anything really. Yeah. Anything that would be considered. Yeah. So they banned that now. And a lot of people were like, oh, from that post, I was reading the comments and people were like, it's way too late for that. Like this should have been a normal thing for them, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, you have people who are a little more, like, blunt about things or maybe insensitive, I guess you could say, because they would just say, like, oh, like, they're always eating crap like that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not surprised. And it's a cultural difference. And, you know, I think that was one thing that I was looking into. And another theory was that, which I want to say is my, I don't know if I can say it's my favorite theory, but it's just, I feel like to me it seems like the one with the most natural cycle. It's not too conspiracy-ish, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like this is the one that makes the most sense. So away from like literal conspiracy theories, like it was created in a lab or it's for the politics or blah, blah, blah. But what is the most adaptable thing in this world that you can think of?
Adaptable?
The thing that is constantly changing, constantly adapting to its environment, to what's inside of it, what's happening outside of it, what we're sitting in.
Nature.
Yeah. And, you know, people are talking about, there was one where they said that everything's melting down now. And they are like, oh, maybe this virus is something that has been embedded in the earth for so long and things are melting down. And now it's in the air or it's in the animals drinking water and it's just trickling down. And now it's on us. And it's more so a way for nature. I mean, think about it. Like, we had animals that no longer exist.
Yeah.
You know, they simply were just kind of cut off. And I don't think humans are an exception to that. I truly don't think that we are incapable of ever going extinct. And I think that a lot of that, like, the power structure with any species is who is truly being smart about survival.
Yeah.
I feel I'm being smart about survival because I'm taking precautions, I'm social distancing, I'm wearing my mask, stuff like that. And then you have people who walk around and they're not wearing their masks. They're more preoccupied with their rights, apparently, when in reality it's like we're not at all trying to take your rights away. We're just trying to do what's good for you and good for everyone.
Like, you can, if you want to protest all you want, but just wear a mask while you protest.
Well, I know.
Like, that's literally all you have to do.
No, and then I think the funniest protest I've seen is that totally defeated its purpose was all
the workout one?
Yes. All these gym rats, which I love the gym, don't get me wrong, but all these gyms, they had to be closed. Yeah. Like, gyms were always taking precautions about wiping things down and yada yada, but now it's about them avoiding too many people from being in the gym. And like their way of like trying to boycott the gym closing was literally working out outside the gym. And it's like, so clearly
you don't need the gym.
Proved you can work out at home.
Yeah.
So turn around and go home.
But yeah, and I'm just like, if you want to protest, go ahead, protest. That's your right. You have a right to protest. But you can protest safely. You can wear a mask. If you're within 6 foot of someone, that's where they recommend you wear a mask, because within that 6 feet is where things can be passed. You accidentally spit, you accidentally, like, you know,
you never know.
Sneeze, cough, whatever. If you're not within 6 feet, you don't gotta wear a mask. Like, right now, we're not wearing our mask because we're social distance.
Like, it's fine.
But of course, when we're cleaning up and putting everything away,
mask
we're wearing a mask. Like, you can be smart while still like practicing your rights and shit. moving on to a different note. Let's move on. I feel like we've talked enough. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk on coronavirus in our lives. Anyways, on a different note, so the last time I went shopping, like personally for like clothes or anything, was pre-coronavirus craziness. I would like to say that the other day, like literally 2 days ago, I finally went shopping, but I did it from the comfort of my own couch in my home. I did not go, because some retail stores have opened back up now. And I don't feel comfortable or safe going out, especially to a clothing store. Like,
I was reading something about how the virus can live on fabric for a while.
Yeah, that's any virus. That's why you gotta, like, take precautions and shit. But anyways, I went shopping. See, look at that. We came back to coronavirus.
I know.
But I went shopping for the first time, and it felt great. I spent $200 and something on clothes, which my what's it called? My reasoning, or my, like, you know, I'm okay with spending $200 something on clothes is because I have not done clothes shopping since before coronavirus, which it's been March, April, May, almost 3 months since I've gone shopping. And if I think about it, if in those 3 months I would have been shopping, had stores been open and stuff.
True.
By up to this point, I would have spent like $200 something on clothes.
And probably more.
And probably more. So I'm just catching up on what I would have spent if Corona wasn't a thing. And so I went online to ModCloth, which, you know, I love them. If they want to sponsor me for anything, I will absolutely do it. Hit me up, ModCloth. I love your clothes. But I went online. They have a sale going on like every single freaking day.
Nice.
And I needed, because I'm back at work and it's so fucking hot that I don't have a lot of clothes that are appropriate, that I can feel fresh in, that are appropriate for work, because something's too short or the sleeves are too skinny.
Oh, that's the hard part.
Stuff like that. So they had a sale and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to buy stuff that I can wear to work. So I bought some dresses. I bought tank tops that have the thick enough, like, sleeveless. And I bought the same tank top in 4 different colors.
Nice.
And I bought a few dresses, but enough to spend $200 worth of clothing. But it felt so good to order it, and the fact that, like, I will be comfortable now at work and I can be cute and, like, not dying of heat stroke or anything like that. And then they had sales, so, like, everything was super cheap. And then I listened to Nicole Byer's podcast, Why Won't You Date Me?
Oh, okay. And, you told me about that podcast.
And I love it. But she ModCloth sponsors her, and so she has a discount code, so I used her discount code, so everything was even cheaper. Thank you, Nicole Byer.
Damn, so you were able to stack your codes?
Yes.
Oh, I love when that happens.
I was able to stack my codes, and I was very surprised because normally you can't stack codes.
It's one or the other.
Let me stack, so everything was like super cheap. I mean, it was still expensive, but it, you know, I was able to get
compared to what
lot.
you would have spent.
Yes, but that's my, like, something normal. Like, I
like a connection
shop
to the outside world. No, same thing, because for me, I hadn't really, like, shopped or really felt, like, tempted to buy anything for, I guess, like, the first 2 months. How long have we been in quarantine? Like, 3 months now?
Officially, everything started, like, March 10th or March 11th? Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
But the shopping that I have done has been for local boutiques. So a lot of them, like, it doesn't take long for my stuff to get there. And then on top of that, like, I know what it's like to work for a boutique and to run one and all that stuff. And so it's like, I know that they're hurting. So I totally felt inclined to support, and they were having, like, mini sales and yada yada. So I ordered a few things that are so cute, and I can't wait to wear them for when we finally go out. But the only thing that bothers me is the masks are probably gonna clash, but I guess I gotta make it work.
Valid.
But no, so I've been doing a lot of that, and of course, like, I probably shouldn't, but I totally bought, like, a couple, like, necessities, bless you, from Amazon.
Oh, yes.
Just, like, little things. Like, I really needed, like, this SD card reader and, you know, stuff like that. Just little whatevers that I need for work. But as far as that, I mean, besides, like, my necessities occasionally when I'll like, run to H-E-B and go straight back home.
That's the only time. That's the only store I'll go to, H-E-B or Walmart, when we need, like, the necessities or anything.
As far as, like I heard Cantera Mall had opened. I don't know if they closed again, but I heard that they were,
like... I mean, that's a mall I could understand because it's a completely outdoor mall. Yeah. Which, like, if you're gonna... Stupid chair. If you're gonna like do shopping or anything, like an outdoor mall I feel like is your best bet because you're not enclosed, and being out in nature, like everything's already so freaking dirty.
Yeah.
And you know when you're outside you gotta wash your hands, even though you should be washing your hands like all the time now. But it's that kind of, yeah, it would make sense. I was gonna say something but I forgot what I was gonna say. Shit. Oh, what was I gonna say?
Was it about shopping?
I don't remember what it was about.
Because besides like ordering that, the only two places I had been to was H-E-B or Walmart. And I'm noticing that I'm leaning more towards Walmart now because H-E-B is so packed.
Really?
Everyone goes there. The one that I go to is the one on in Universal City.
Kitty Hawk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, so many people.
Really?
And I'm like, okay. We have the whole social distancing thing, like
yes.
You can't go in without a mask, and they give you a wipe as soon as you enter, and all that stuff. But it's like still a lot of people.
Yeah. The H-E-B Plus on 3009.
Oh yeah,
is crazy busy. Like I went there to go pick up my dog's medicine, and yeah, there was a lot of people, and I was just like, this is weird. But like Kitty Hawk one, what I've noticed the past couple of times I've gone, if it's like something that I can plan ahead for, I'll go like right when they open.
Okay, yeah.
And it's calm, like there's no one there. I remember the first day while I was in quarantine and staying at home. I remember that the first day there, the first day I went to H-E-B, I like woke up early to go when it opened, and I got there like 8:15 and there was a line outside to get in, and which I believe they still do it, but you go in one door only and then you come out the other door. And so I went, and that was when toilet paper was crazy. Like I came in and it was 8:15 when I got there. It had only been open for 15 minutes. I went to the toilet paper aisle, and all that was left were the like packs of 4 in like the off brands.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? It's only been 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's the thing that they were struggling with replenishing things.
But then a couple weeks later, or I guess not a couple weeks later, probably like a month later, the next time I returned, I was like, all right, I'm prepared. I'm going to wake up early, go to H-E-B when it opens. I know that when it opens, there's not a lot of people there. And this was around the time when they started making masks required and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I went, and I got there around the same time. I went inside, and the aisle was like stocked.
Really?
Like you could tell people had gone through it, but there was the name brands were there still and all that stuff. And so that was a turning point for me, because it felt like, okay, people aren't stressing so much about toilet paper. Like it's slowly calming you back down. And now if you go, like there's toilet paper, there's stuff.
There's one for everybody.
Yes. But then recently I went to Walmart, and my mother got a Cricut machine for Christmas, and so she's been getting supplies and stuff, and she needed the iron press for it. And so I went to Walmart to the sewing section, and when I got to the sewing section, it was like the toilet paper aisle. Fabrics were like off the shelf, like
wow. So people are making masks.
Yes. And I was like, I love that this is empty, because like that's why their fabric is gone, because people are making masks. But it's also like, holy shit, like stupid fucking ant. Like it's happening,
like the priorities I guess are shifting.
Yes.
And also I think at least for me, I find it the most interesting part has been people are kind of finding hobbies again, or and they're like, you know what, I used to sew, like I could totally sew a mask, and so they got back into sewing suddenly.
I learned how to sew,
so it's exactly.
My mom made me this mask that I have right now, but a coworker saw it and she was like, oh, I love that, I want it. And so I was like, yeah, just give me the bandana. And I had my mom teach me how to use the Cricut machine to cut it, because it has a template to cut it.
Cool.
And then she brought out the sewing machine, and she taught me how to sew. And so I sewed that person's mask. And I was like, oh, snap. Nice. But yeah, speaking of part, I remember what we were going to talk about.
And we totally got back to coronavirus.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Damn you. But I remember, so before all of this started, I had just put in an order to get this new podcast equipment, this new audio recorder. And that was at the time where like Amazon was only prioritizing like orders.
Oh yeah.
And so they were only letting essentials be sent. And so I was like, shit, like I just ordered this stuff that I really wanted.
It's like, who knows when you'll get it.
And who knows when I'll get it. And luckily enough, I got it the next week. And I'm glad I did, because that's how this audio recorder is what has allowed me to do phone interviews. Because I can just prop my phone
it's like
up.
the best thing to pick up sound.
Yes.
Like, and a lot of times you can tell when it's a phone interview, so that I'm sure like totally enhanced it.
Yeah. And so I'm like, usually when I do it, I'll do like,
is that a dog?
It's a dog.
God, I'm blind.
I'll have my phone like propped like this so that the audio
perfect.
picks up the microphone. But like if I hadn't gotten that equipment, who knows what my podcast would have been like had I been doing that. Okay. Dog. I know. All right. Well, then again, we got back onto it.
Jesus. It's just like hard.
It is. It's also like we're at our hour already. Look at us.
We have no problem getting to an hour.
We have no problem.
What is it about our chatterboxes that just...
I don't know.
I love that.
Anything else you want to talk about before we end it?
You know what? Let's talk about... What's the first thing, I mean, obviously it's coronavirus related, sorry. But what's the first thing that you want to do after it's, I guess, officially dubbed safe to do whatever?
I think I would just want to go hang out with friends. Like, I mean, we can hang out, we know what we're doing. But, like, my friends, like my friend who's a wrestler, and then, like, our little squad, we've been wanting to do a reunion for years, and then of course Corona happened and we couldn't. So I think like being able to like plan something to get together with them would be really nice. Because 2 of us live down here and 2 of them live up in Dallas, and so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
To kind of do. Also recording a podcast in person would be nice. You know. But I think that's it. Just like hanging out with people that aren't the people I work with.
Just like getting. Because, I don't know, for me, like, my friend connections are important to me. And, like, part of that is socializing, hanging out with them, like, having experiences with them. So, for sure, same thing, honestly.
Yeah, because, like...
And just kind of having that freedom of, like, I really want to go to this thing.
Yes. And I'm a homebody just like you, but when you are, like... Homebodies are fun because you can choose if you want to stay home or not. But, like, being a homebody in this, it's like you don't have the choice anymore. You have to stay.
Exactly.
So that's what kind of makes you feel trapped.
It's like, I stay home because I want to stay home. And not because
like,
I'm being told to stay home.
It's like, now I have to stay home. And going back to, like, what you were saying about what your experience was, like, you started working from home and now you're hitting that realization of, like, I kind of need to go do that.
Yeah, and it's only because I hate not having structure.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm kind of losing myself in this weird new dynamic.
That's exactly how I felt, because so we had spring break, and then at the end of spring break, we decided we were going to extend our spring break 1 more week and keep the school closed. And then finally we were told we are going to keep working, but we're working from home. And so I was working from home for about a month. And I was like, ooh, this has been always like a dream of mine, like working from home, my own schedule. Like we would only have to send in whatever hours we were working.
Psych.
And the more I got into it, the more I was like, I thought I wanted this, but I don't, because I need like you said, the structure. Separation. I need to be, the thing I liked about work is like physically being able to go somewhere else and not just be at home. And like, I love my family, but like, so you need that break from people. You need to see other people, and it's just that type of stuff. And so that's kind of where I was all at. And then it got to the point where so we had a lot of Zoom meetings, and we held Zoom meetings, and then big gust of wind. Actually, you can't hear it. We had a lot of Zoom meetings, and towards the end of our working from home time frame, I started playing with the virtual backgrounds.
So fun.
And of course, leave it to me to come up with 15 virtual backgrounds the week before we go back to work in person. And I just started having fun with it. I turned like all my old Disney photos from the park as my backgrounds.
Yeah.
A picture I took at the Jonas Brothers concert, I made one of my backgrounds. I took pictures I took from San Francisco, I made my background. And I kind of just had fun with it. And then one meeting, I think I sent you the video, but I wore my sloth onesie.
Oh, yeah.
In the meeting. And it was funny because everyone was so serious in all these meetings, and then I started using the backgrounds, and people would be like laughing, or like you'd see like a different type of smile on their faces. And then the day I wore the onesie, everyone was like, haha, that's
love
great.
It. Yeah.
And I'm like, I've hit the point where it's just, I don't care anymore.
Whatever.
Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I think it's nice that we live in a time where it's so easy to stay connected to people. But if you think about it, I mean, it's a screen.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no legitimate true connection with someone when you're constantly just communicating through a screen, you know? And to go out and do things together is so different too, which is what I'm looking forward to the most, definitely. Yes. Oh my God, that's a huge vulture.
Yeah, it was just like, it might be a hawk or a falcon.
Yeah.
Because it looked a little brown versus black. But yeah, that's something. And I look forward to like us being able to plan a trip again.
I know, especially since we were planning one just before everything happened. We're like, no. Now we got to go hard for this trip for sure.
Like we were literally going to do a spontaneous spring break trip and then coronavirus hit and we were like, it's probably not safe to do it.
Just kidding. And like, then spring break turned into 2 weeks.
And then 2 months, then a month, and then 2 months, and now we're here. And so just being able to like plan trips again for us to go random places will be nice and kind of get back to that exploring adventure.
Oh my God, totally. Because that's what I love the most is just being able to kind of, I like staying home, but it's when I want to go out and check something out or explore something or visit somewhere new, I can just do it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that's like tying me back. But now it's just a whole different approach, I feel, because we're going to be so much more conscious of certain things that we have to be careful of, you know? Like we talked about taking maybe a Disney trip. We're going to be wearing masks at the park. Like, even if this could be, you know, months from now, like, we got to be wearing masks.
Which is another thing if we do end up making this or booking this trip and we know that we're going to have to wear masks, let's plan it for, like, fall or winter so we know it's going to be cooler and we don't, like, pass out of heat strokes wearing a mask.
Oh, totally.
Like, Texas.
And then I was just thinking we got to make cute masks. Especially if we're going to Disney.
We're making Disney-themed masks.
We're making Disney-themed masks. Okay.
We have a Cricut machine at my house. We have a sewing machine. Like, we can make it happen. So I don't know if you saw the picture. So my boss's mother made masks because she was bored at home. And so when we came back to work, she brought the mask. And so I grabbed one of them. And it was just plain, like, fun pink, greens, black, whites. And it was, like, it was strips of, like, animal print, solid colors, like, different patterns on it. And so I took it, and then the more I stared at it, the more I was like, wait, my mom has a Cricut machine, like, I want to do, like, vinyl on it or something like that. And so I turned it into a Disney mask, and so I put the castle silhouette with the Mickey head, the mouse ears head, kind of, like, cut out in it, and then I put, like, a Stitch on one side, and I put Squirt on another side. And so, that was kind of like my thing in Disney. But if we're going to Disney at the end of the year,
gotta coordinate the outfits to the masks. You know, I mean, because honestly, if we're gonna be taking pictures, like, I don't want the masks to clash. They gotta look cute.
They gotta look cute. And we'll pack multiple so we can, you know, aesthetically fit whichever pose we're going for.
Exactly. You know? Especially if, like, the different parks too, like, 1,000% we're going to Star Wars.
Hell yeah, because I have not been.
I mean, either. Like, I haven't
even been to freaking Pandora.
Oh, you'll love it.
I know. I'm like,
it's so your vibe. Yes, it's like very naturey and pretty.
Yeah, and we talked about this on the phone the other day. Is like the last time I went to Disney World, they were building Pandora. Like, we could see the tall structure of, like, the rock that's kind of like
it was like the peak of it, but that's all you could see.
But they were building everything still. Like, half the rock was there and all that stuff. And the fact that, like, you went recently and it was there, and I'm just like, holy shit, it's been so long, because last time I was there, they were still building it.
Awesome, too. So, and you know, we got the hookup. So.
Girl, and you know I'm on a Disney, like, thing, because, so, I mentioned it every episode since I got it. I have a TikTok. If you don't follow me at Curlyheadedcutieeileen.
Which we're about to attempt to make a TikTok.
But, you know how the For You pages kind of changes?
The algorithm. I'm sorry, TikTok's algorithm, I want to play with it, because I feel like it's so strong, like...
Yeah, so my For You page consists of lots of Disney related things, lots of Disney World related things, lots of, like, millennial, like, over 20, over 30 year olds mentioning how they're too old for the TikTok, and like, comedy stuff. Like, that's kind of what my For You page looks like. But it's funny because so many Disney videos pop up and I'm like, I just want to go. I just want to do it.
No, my For You page is for sure comedy. It has a lot of, like, I guess more adult related content, in the sense of, like, topics about mental health or, like, how to do this, or, like, DIYs. And then another one is
I get a lot of, like, people with kids.
I haven't. Well, I mean, maybe videos of kids, but not, like, kid-related content, like
No.
how to make lunch for your kid?
Oh,
like,
yeah, no,
nothing like that.
nothing like that. But
Okay,
it's
okay.
like the parents recording their kids doing
Got
funny
you.
shit or something like that.
No,
yeah.
so, but I find the algorithm so interesting because it was May the 4th. And of course, May the 4th be with you, and then the next day is Revenge of the 5th. Like, so a lot of Star Wars related content was popping up, and I liked a lot of it because a lot of them were really funny, or it was like some cool edit, and then or some of them were like Disney park related. And now my For You page is like almost all, like every third video maybe is Star Wars. I'm like, damn, now I need to just go to freaking Disney World now. Cause I think we go like every other Christmas.
See, and that's that's the time of year my family has never been. We've only ever gone, and we've gone, I think, like 3 times now. We only ever go either during spring break or summer. We've never gone.
That's like the busiest time too.
But that's because like my dad was still working. We all had breaks
like
at that
when
time.
You guys were off for school.
Like the last time we went was the year my dad got deployed. We did all the family trips before he left in the fall.
Got you. Okay.
And so that spring break we went to Disney, and then that summer we went to South Padre. Like, so we've only ever done it in the hot times and the busy times, and I've always wanted to go in the fall and winter, which is why I'm like, I really hope things somewhat get weird. Ooh.
Let's go for your birthday.
That'd be fun.
Let's go for your birthday.
Okay.
And then, honestly, because like Christmas time and Disney World is so cute.
Eve.
Huh?
We could do like New Year's Eve in Disney. Because
so we could stay like
that
week of Christmas into New Year's. Kind of like what you did when you went to
Canada.
Canada.
So when I went to Canada, I left on the 27th. No. I left on the 26th.
Okay. Yeah, you left after Christmas.
Yes, I left
because
the
we at
day
least
after
spent
Christmas
with your family.
Yes. So we could leave like the 26th. Like, Canada, I left the 26th in the evening, had a whole day to kind of just like figure shit out, and then my birthday was the next day. So we could totally do that.
I think we could do that. I think that's very doable. And then we
could lead it into the new year.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm down.
That's it. Those are our dates.
And I for sure don't work because my birthday's over Christmas break. So
you're like, bye, I don't work on my birthday.
Exactly. Okay, that's it. We put it out into the universe. This year's birthday trip, I
think we can track flights.
Yes.
I think we can at least track flights.
Yes, we can.
And hotel prices.
Yes.
Because, okay, so the plan.
Oh. No, yeah, hotel because I want breakfast included so we don't have to worry about breakfast.
Yeah. So, because the plan, I mean, I don't know. Now maybe we could switch it up, but.
Dude, what if we. Oh, no, because you're on. I was like, what if we stayed in a resort? One of their resorts?
I mean, we could do that too. We have time to plan for that.
We do. I've always wanted to stay in one of their resorts.
Okay, well, let's do that. Because we stayed at one.
We have never stayed on one.
We got to hook up with her.
Because we always just go for the cheap hotels that are like a mile down the road.
Yeah, which understandable because I'm sorry, but a single day in a Disney park, you're going to be spending a lot of money.
Exactly.
Okay.
But we're the queens of tripping on a budget, so.
Oh, queens. Okay, I am very proud of our meal plan we had set up in New Orleans. Yes. That was genius. Okay.
Honestly.
We even had snacks for the road after. It was no problem.
We were prepared.
No, I think that's super doable.
Okay, we're putting it out to the universe.
All right.
Disney 2020.
Disney 2020. That's going to be the great, send off to 2020.
God,
for sure.
Yeah. I'm so happy it did not rain today.
Oh, me too. It got pushed back.
Yeah.
Which tends to happen. I don't think it's really going to pour until next week.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, that is how we're going to end today's episode. Yeah, we talked about whatever. We kept bringing it back to coronavirus.
I know,
which
sorry.
Sucks about the time we're in, but, we just have to vent.
It's relevant content.
It's the relevant content. It's relevant to the times. It's what we're going through. There's nothing else really to talk about. Everything always has a tie to it. But, yeah, thank you for listening. Y'all can listen wherever you want to listen to podcasts. As I mentioned in the last episode, my podcast is now available pretty much on almost every platform, so that's very exciting. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just search Curlyheadedcutieeileen, Curlyheaded Cutie Chronicles. And again, TikTok. I was on it I'm on it every day, but as far as making content, I was very prominent in making content when I was working from home, and now I'm not working from home, so my content has slowed down a bit. But every time I have an idea, I'll do it. So yeah, follow me wherever. Follow Jasenia wherever you want to follow her. She's at Calypso Cruise. So follow her. She's got amazing pictures on there, amazing content. And I think that's it. Stay safe. wear a mask.
Wear a mask. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
6
Social
feet apart.
distance. You know, let's keep the world safe. Keep
Oh, yeah.
yourself safe. Keep
Totally.
your friends safe. Everything like that. And until the next one, I will talk to y'all later.
Signing
Bye.
off.
XOXO. Bye, y'all.